Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Wow. Okay, so there's a Rashi here. We start off with a Rashi. We're holding like 10 lines from the top of Memdalad and Medalad on the top. So Rashi says there's a little bit missing over here. Reish the Bryce of Taras Kehanim. This Bryce is in Taras Kehanim. Lim Pigel. It's referring to Pigel. Katani Yochal Lo Yeh Chayev Ela Al Shlom B'Vad. So the Bryce starts and says, I think that you would be chayev only for shlomim. Why? The whole concept of pigul is said in the pasuk about shlomim, and from there we have to go to the rest of the korbanos and the rest of the Torah. Torah Rabbanon, Oyeino Mevi Elo Kayotze b'Shlomim. Now, I would think that you'd only bring something that's similar to shlomim. So remember these words, put it in your brain for a second. Kayotze b'Shlomim. What's kayotze b'Shlomim? What's exactly like shlomim? The Gemara is going to say b'char. Okay? So I would think that pigul only applies to two korbanos, shlomim and one other, kayotze b'Shlomim, something that's similar to shlomim. Ma shlomim yuchadim necholim shnei yomim v'layla echad, af kol nechol shnei yomim v'layla echad. Only something that's so similar that's kachim kalim, that's eaten for 2 days and a night. So that would exclude oila and achatas and taida, even a taida, which is kachim kalim. We said it's a type of kachim kalim that you only eat for 1 day. You remember the siman because you have to eat the breads quickly so that everybody comes. You invite everybody. Okay. Nechal liyoy v'laylo minayin. Talmud loymar mipsar. So here's the pasuk. Vim heyochol yeyochel mibsar zevach shlomav bayom hashlishi. The pasuk says shlomim. Bayom hashlishi means what? Rabbi Isai? Pigul. This is the idea of pigul. What are you eating on the third day? You're only allowed to eat it for 2 days, and one night it says bayom hashlishi. So the whole idea of pigul is in this pasuk over here. It says pigul yeh all the way in the bottom. Well, 2 lines from the bottom. But because it says mibsar, kol sheshiorev necholim, mibsar, from the meat. Meaning it has shirayim, it has leftovers, anything that has shior nechalim. Okay, now, so that includes a lot of korbanos, but it doesn't include everything. So how do I see from this pasuk also an oila that you could do pigul on an oila? Talmud loymar zevach. So in this pasuk in green it says zevach shlamav. It should say b'sar shlamav. What's zevach shlamav? Extra word. You can't include the oila. Minayin l'rabbis ha'oifois. How do you know you can do pigul even on the chatos and the oila birds? V'amenachas. And if you bring flour and oil, whatever you're bringing over there, you could do pigul. What's pigul? You're thinking that you're going to be eating it, you're going to be makriv it after the allotted time in 2-3 days from now. Another question, so it's an interesting lashon. But how do I know I can do pigul on the oil shel mitzayra? Talmud loymar asher hei magdishim li. So, very important. We're going to do a little bit of a, by Tumah, it says, Asher hei magdishim li. Anything that you make kaddish to me. Anything. So that includes oil, mincha, whatever you magdish me. That's by Tumah. Okay, so let me just show it to you Balpeh because it's an interesting lashon that Gemara says. So we have 3 things here. We have Tumah, we have Noisar, left overnight, and we have Pigul. So Gemara says like this. By Tumah we saw the pasuk Asher Magdishim Li, but it says also the word Yichalalu. By Noisar it says Chilal. So now we can make a connection between Noisar and Tumah, which also says Yichalalu. It also says Avoina in purple by Noisar, and it says by Pigul the word Avoina all the way in the bottom. So together we have this. From Tumah it says by Tumah it says Bnei Yisrael. It's missing over here. To really say by Tumah Bnei Yisrael, it should pop out Bnei Yisrael. That it's a No, we're not even holding there yet. This idea of pigul, pigul is by Tumah, but it says lo yichalu. We learn from Tumah to Noisar, from Noisar to pigul. So basically, I'm learning pigul from where? From Tumah. Where am I? Oh, okay, now here. So it says Talmud loymar Hashem magdishim li. It says no. So we're not learning now Bnei Yisrael. I jump to another daf. I'm confusing 2 dafim over here. We have the same exact name on the daf mem hey. So right now from Tumah we learned the idea that all korbanos are included. Hey magdishim li. V'asi noisar chilul mituma. And here you learn the word chilul by noisar and the word chilul by tuma. Let me just put it on the screen for a second. And v'asi pigul oven menoisar. I'm just saying it's a little interesting how the Gemara says it, but it's very clear. Pigul you learn from noisar. Noisar you learn from tuma. You want me to order those, huh? New ones. I forgot already. V'asi pigul oven menoisar. Okay, so fine. That's how we know. Is called davar. Why does the Torah put pigul in the parsha of Shlomim when at the end of the day we just said every single carbon is included, including the oila, including the mincha, including the oil of the mitzvah? Says Gemara, Shlomim, humans eat from it, the mizbeach eats from it, everybody gets to enjoy it. And there's a matter for each one.
Or you could just pay what you like.
There's a mizbeach, and that allows you to put the meat on the mizbeach, that allows the humans to eat it. Afkoil, sheyesh matirim, bein la'adam, bein la'mizbeach, chayom alev, mishum pigul. Hoila. So now we're just going to go easy stuff. We already had this in the Mishnah. The oila. Dama matter is psar l'mizbeach, var l'koyanim. You have a matter. Even the oila has a matter. What's the matter of the oila? The blood that you sprinkle on the mizbeach allows you to put the animal on top of the mizbeach. All of it. And the hide of this animal goes to the koyanim. Oilas ha'oif. You have a bird oila which also completely goes on the mizbeach. It's kulei l'Hashem. Dama matter is psar l'mizbeach. You give it a little kvetch, a mitzvah on the mizbeach. That is what allows you to put it on the mizbeach. Without that mitzvah, you cannot put it on the mizbeach. Chatasoif, which the kohanim eat it completely. Doma matter is b'sar l'kohanim. Its blood is matter the basar to the kohanim. Harem anisrafim, usiirim anisrafim. All these guys, where were they? Here. This whole bunch of them, the Par Helam Davar, the Par Kohen Gadol, the Par Yom Kippur, the Sirei Yom Kippur, they're all inner, they all go into the Heichal. All the blood is applied in the Heichal. The matters the Imurim l'karev. You can be makriv the Imurim. Where are you makriv the Imurim exactly? Where do you burn the Imurim? You can't do it there in the Heichal. There's nowhere to do it. That little mizbeach is only for Ketores. So has to we put it on the mizbeach chachitza.
The Imurim on the mizbeach.
The Imurim on the mizbeach. Zog the Gemara. Oh, so, but what's not included is, we said, this is like Chazarah. The kmitza, why not? Because there's nothing past it. That is the matter. It's like the blood of an animal. There's nothing that comes to allow that. Vesalavayna. That's also the last stop. The Levina's matter together with the kmitza, the mincha. Vaktoiris, and the entire Ketores goes up to Hashem, so there's no matter for it. Uminchas kohanim, uminchas koy Mashiach. We have to remember this because this is important. Umoitziani. I'm going to take out. There's no pigul. There's no iser pigul on it by itself because there's no matter to it. What? Uminchas kohanim, uminchas koy Mashiach, uminchas nesachim. This is important. Umoitziani. There is no pigul, because we're going to talk about it soon, on nisachim, v'hadam, and on blood. Reb Shimon says Reb Shimon, wait a minute. Shlomim, the whole pasuk about pigul is by Shlomim. And where do you perform the Shlomim? Outside of the Heichal, in the Azara. It has to be something that's on the outer Mizbeach. So he says, I am excluding everything. This entire chart is not in the pigul thing. All these guys, the Parko and Gola, this is all inside the Heichal. Now we're going to see something that explains even the inside. You can only do pigul in certain situations. Here's very interesting. You're going to see a shita soon. This guy inside, let's grab the Parko and Gadol. But the imurim are on the outside. And where's the shchita? On the outside. Outside of the Eichel. So what if you, in the Azara? So what if you do pigul during the shchita, thinking about you're going to put the imurim on in 2 weeks from now? That's not pigul because it's not inside. It has to be inside the Heichal, things that you do inside the Heichal, like the sprinkling of the blood. Interesting. Says Gemara, Kayoytze b'shlamim mayniu. I pointed out before, about 15, 20 lines up, it says Kayoytze b'shlamim. Something that's similar to shlamim has pigul, without any psukim. We used this whole pasuk before, just to remind the olam. We learned from the word besar, from zevach, it includes oila. But there's one thing that's like shlamim, I don't need any pasuk. What is that one thing? Mayniu bechar. Bechar is very similar to shlamim. I don't need a pasuk. Ask the Gemara, what do you mean you don't need a pasuk? But mayasi, how did you want to learn it? It's the simplest type of limud. It's not a limud. It's like, I see this halach over here, let's apply it to here also. But that, you could just knock off in a millisecond. How? Ikila mifrach, any pircha slugs it up. It's not strong like a gzer shava, like a hekish, like a kavachomer. I give it a little pircha. Now what? Mal shlam shem tu'unim smicha. Shlamim, you have to lean on it with your body weight. Unusachim, you have to bring wine. Utnufa chaz v'shoy. So we have a new tnufa, just for today. The kohen puts his hand underneath the hand of the Yisrael, and they go in all directions. Mamish like a lulav. This is where we learned lulav from. This is the thigh and the breast. Chaz v'shoy. So they say, oh, Shlamim, you do this. By B'char, you don't do it. Elo, says the Gemara, you're right. This is actually a pasuk. It's not like you think, just a logic. Because that you can throw off. As we saw before the pasuk. By Shlamim, here, look, the first, it's a double lashon. What's ha'choil ye'ochel? It includes something else called a bechar that is pigul. So now the Gemara is going to do something. It's only one line, and anyway, here in MDY we don't get traumatized by klal u'prat u'klal. But take a look at this. Let's go through the idea of klal u'prat u'klal for a second. When the Torah is very generalized and doesn't give you anything specific, it says ha'choil, anything you eat. Anything you eat. So it could be a toida, it could be a chatos, you even need a chatos. It could be anything. So that's a klal, and when you have a prat right after a klal, it closes it down, it shuts it down completely. So it was very generalized, and then poof, no, shlamim only. So now you're stuck with shlamim. But if you put another klal after the prat, you have a klal, prat klal, so it's very, very generalized, very specific, very generalized, so it opens it up again. It's not completely open, and it's not completely closed, it's somewhere in between. It's like, it's a lot of stuff that are similar to shlamim. The problem is, what do you see over here? What's the problem? Over here it's klal uprat. Now what do you do? Are we shutting down the klal and we don't care that two klals are together? Or no, it's as if you have a klal prat klal, it's just the prat is in the wrong place. It should have been in between the two klals, and no, you're not. So it says the Gemara, Hani trei klali the smicha hadadininu. These two klali come right at one after another. Take a look at the chart for a second. Boom. It's as if it happened like that. It's as if, yes, you're right, it does say klal uprat, put the prat in between. Who's the man that says that you could do pigul on the extra oil of the Mitzayra? He goes according to Rimei. The Sanya. Here it goes like Rimei, that you could do pigul on the oil. The problem is Ema Seifa. I told you to remember that also. There's no pigul on the blood and the nesachim. And that, a Salon Rabban could only be Rabbanon, and then you have the classic problem, how could the Reisha be Remeir and the Seifa Rabbanon? The Zayin Nitzki Behema Chayav Malim Shum Pigul, Mipnei Shadam HaZevach Matirim Likaret. Divrei Rebbe Meir. Remeir holds that the Nesachim have Pigul. Why? Because there's a matter. So it can't be Remeir. Or maybe it's Zevachim Unesachim Mikana Atzarim. We had this yesterday. That there's no connection between the Nesachim and the Dam. They could come at different days, so obviously one has nothing to do with the other. When they come together, I'm talking about upon him. It can't be Remeir, so it must be Chachamim. So then we have a problem. The Reish is Remeir and the Seif is Chachamim. Rebbe agrees to Chachamim, and he also agrees to Remeir when it comes to oil. So it's a new shita called Rebbe. So this is a tremendous chiddush that, check this out, something new for today. Look at this. Part of the process of the Mitzvah is that the kohen takes a bunch of oil in his palm. One kohen pours the kohen into another kohen's palm. He takes that oil and he does this inside the Azara, facing the Kodesh HaKadoshim. You see the Parochas over there? That's Kodesh HaKadoshim. The Shulchan is in the right corner. He does 7 drips of blood, of oil. And Memela, that is the matter. Big Chiddush. What the Gemara says, it makes 0 sense. That never happened. Nobody will say that. I'll go upon him. Right now, Shittas Rebbe is that the oil is what? The oil itself, not the blood of the carbon asham, is matter this oil. The oil itself is matter himself. Matter atzmi beis asurim. Himself. Like the blood is matter the blood, which we never have. Over here, the oil, by me sprinkling 7 times on the floor, now the kohen is allowed to drink this oil, whatever's left over. She says Gemara, and it's pigel. Matanois of Shorley, the matanois of Shorley, matanois of Mefaglile. So it creates the right to do pigel. The Sanya, Lo Yishem Shem Tzor Moilam Boyat Shizruk Adam. You're over Ami Ila until there's the blood of the Asham is sprinkled. Nizruk Adam, but once the blood was sprinkled, Lo Nehenim V'Lo Moyalim. There's no Isser Ila, but you're not allowed to benefit from it. Rabbi Yoimer Moyalim at Shiitim Matanoisav. Rabbi says there is Me'ila until you give the 7 drops of oil. But everybody agrees. It's also to eat from it, or until you do the 7 things on the right finger and the toe, etc. Amru Kabed Rabbi Yirmiyah Omar. And he said this in front of Rebbe. Gaver Rabbi Rav Yosef Leimikah Milsa. You're going to tell me that according to Rebbe, you could be mefagel with just the zrika of the oil and it's not nothing to do with the blood. What's a loy that comes by itself? When do we bring oil by itself? Let's say the Mitzvah forgot his oil, or he's very poor. He's one of these poor. So he comes back next year with the thing of oil. It's fine. You're allowed to come back later. You don't have to do it the same day as the carbon. Anyway, think about it. He's bringing 3 korbanos. Shlamim, Asham, what's the third one? Oil. Chatos, oil, shlamim. 3. And plus oil. Now you're at. So he has to go all the way back to Tzfat, make the whole trek back, and bring his oil. So, in that case, what allows the oil to go? It's the applying of the oil. Everybody agrees that there's no pigul at that point. So how can Rebbe say in this case the Sanya loik shemen shem tzor chayav v'lam shum pigul? Mebnei shedam material b'hoyno is the Rebbe Meir. The oil is the heter for the oil. The matter of the oil is the blood of the asham. Or Rebbe Meir maybe asham achshav v'loik mikam ad asor. How can you say it's the blood? He brings the lug different time, the shemen different time. The bottom line is it can't be Rebbe. Rebbe never said that the oil is matter itself. And you make pigul on the oil itself. So maybe if it's not Rebbe, so you don't have you have the Reish is Remeir, the Seifa is Chachamim. What do we do here? It is Remeir. This thing umoitzi nesachim is different. You gotta erase it. I don't know. I just now. Forget. I'm not even going to say it. I thought that maybe Abai is the one that always says, "Don't do that. Don't erase." Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's everybody. It's you know what? It is Remeir, and you don't have to take out Nesachim, and it fits right into Remeir. Why? This is one halach. The halach number 1 is you have the lug shemen that comes with the carbon, and the Nesachim that come with the carbon, and that. The dam is matter. That there's no, so it's 2 separate halachas, and it fits right into Remeir that when it comes by itself, he also admits that when the luk shemin comes by itself, the nesachim come by itself, then the dam is not matter them. Says the Gemara. So we have something called matnas kuhuna. There's 24 matnas kuhuna. We're not going to talk about any of them. You can look at the list and enjoy. I don't even know what this list is. This 10. I don't know what this is. Anyway, I just grabbed it from Baba Kama. We had it over there. Daf Kuf Yud. Ayin Sham. Minani Mili, how do you know about all these Matis Kuhuna, the Tani Levi, Kol Karbanam, Lirabois, Loik Shemesh Matzayra. One of the Matis Kuhuna is here. So here's the pasuk. Check this pasuk out. It's all in this pasuk. So Rashi brings that what's pshat in this? Because Koirach was ma'arer. Koirach said, "You're not the kohen, I'm the kohen." Hashem said, "You know what? You are the kohanim, and this is what you get." In other words, it's the idea of litavasi nishbara parasi. What's the lashon? The famous medrash where a guy was plowing the field with his bull, his ox, and the ox fell into the pit and broke its legs, and he couldn't get it out. So he jumped into the pit to pull him out, and he found a treasure. L'tevasi nishbara regal parasi. Mashu kazeh. Sometimes the bad is the good. Not sometimes, it's always. Sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes you see it on the spot when you find the treasure right there. Akabanim, the Akash Baruch said here, these are your Matas Kuna, 24 Matas Kuna. So Sogadech Hamina, sorry, Kol Karbanam, L'Rabbois, Loik Shem Shem Tzayra. So what's this call? If you look, I just underlined the word call in the pasuk 4 times. All. What's all? Karbanam, Minchasim, Chatasim, Mashamam. What's call? The extra call. All, including the loik shem, and including the oil, the extra oil from the mitzvah goes to the kan. So it has to be from the fire. This has nothing to do with the mizbeach and the fire. And they also get that. The mincha of the omer, which allows you to eat the new crop on the second day of Pesach, you bring the mincha. Who does it go to? The koyanim. This is super interesting. When the soita, she has to bring a mincha. We saw the whole video 25 times. He put the mincha on the corner of the mizbeach. So who gets to eat? Why do the kohen get to eat it? Because there's a kapara. When it comes to the omer, it's to allow you to. Nobody needed a kapara. Nobody did an aver. It's to allow you to eat the new crop. And the minchas knois is to decide whether or not to. How do you say mevar in English? To clarify whether or not she's mizana, it's not a kapara at all, because if she's mizana, she's going to die. That's the kapara. It's just to see whether or not. So I think the kohen doesn't get to eat it. Well, what I do with the word chatasam, the rabbis chatoisoif. This comes to be matter. This bird gets to be eaten by the kohen. So I think they break the neck before they even do. Because of Malika, it's breaking the neck. It's an avela. It's fine. The kohen gets to eat it. So the Chamina says in the pasuk Hashama. So the Chamina lahachshikasu. It's just allowing the nazir to continue on with his life, and the mitzvah also to be kosher, but it's not a kapara. Kamashmala, they get to eat from it. Asham mitzvah behedik sibe. What do you mean? What I need Hashama? It says unfortunately on pasuk that the kohen gets it. Says Gemara, Asham mitzvah behedik sibe. El Rabbi says Asham nazir kasham mitzvah. Also, the Asham Nazir is sometimes when the Nazir becomes Tomei, he has to restart his whole thing. So it's like the Mitzvah, that it's not coming to be Mechaper, just like the Mitzvah is not coming to be Mechaper, so too the Nazir also is not coming to be Mechaper, and the Kohen gets to eat it. Asher Yeshivu Ze Gezel Ager. Very interesting. If somebody steals from a Ger, convert, and the convert dies, who's he going to return it to? A Jew, there's always a relative somewhere, but not for the convert. Memela, the Torah tells you give it to the kohen, and that's his thing. This gezel ger is for you, not other stuff, not other matnas kuna, but this particular one is good for you to be mekadesh a woman. So this is beautiful. This is what we spoke about. This is so simple. When we're talking about the karbanas that go inside the heichal, these guys right over here, these 4. So he says like this. If it depends, because there's certain things in all 4. Where do you shecht? You can't shecht inside a heichal. You shecht by the azara next to the mizbeach hachitzon. So there's things that go inside, things that go outside, even in the inside guys. So pigel b'dovar nas b'chutz. Pigel, then it's good pigel. V'dovar nas b'fnim, loy pigel. But things that are in the heichal, there's no pigel. Keitzad. There's no pigul on these guys. But if he's standing in the Hazar and he says, I'm going to shech this right now in order to do the Hazar which is inside. Because if you're outside and your thought is about inside, not pigul. But he's standing inside and he says, I'm doing this with machshava to do the imurim. What do you do? The imurim outside, loy pigul. Shemachshava b'fnim b'dov anas b'chutz. But if he's standing outside and he's doing the shechita which you do outside, lishbach shirayim which you do outside, lemachar, so everything's outside, and then machshava is outside. Or lagdim or lemachar pigul. That is pigul. Shemachshava b'chutz b'dov anas b'chutz. Amar Shmuel Levi micro. I wanted to say because it's mamish parshas noach because Reb Shub ben Levi never saw a rainbow. There's no rainbow in his life, but it's already after noach. Micro kashiura mishor zevach shlamim. It says by the power of the Kohen Gadol. Yura mishor zevach shlamim. It says shlamim by power of Kohen Gadol. V'chimalo madam mishor zevach shlamim mato. What do you learn from the shlamim? El magish par Kohen Mashiach l'shor zevach shlamim. Marsha, this is hekesh. Marshor zevach shlamim. Achiyu masim achshavoysav amizbechach. It's in the shlamim. Has nothing to do with the heichal inside. Everything is outside. Apart from Mashiach, achiyu machshavoysav masav amizbechach. That's where the pigul occurs. Super interesting. That what? That the pigul for these parim has to be for things outside, done outside. Why do you have to tell me such a thing? Mashiach is not here. We don't have karbanas. So why do you have to tell me that Allah is like him? That's how you do pigul. Super interesting. It goes against everything we know. What does that mean? Zevachim, you should toss the whole Zevachim. Why? We spoke the first Mishnah. I mentioned the famous Chavetz Chaim that he says, and he made koilalim for Zevachim, for Kachim. He says, soon Mashiach is coming, and nobody Klaisrael doesn't know anything about Zevachim, about Kachim. And it also says, if you're Isaac with Karbanas, we don't have a Beis HaMikdash today. We don't have Karbanas. So what are we doing? But if you learn about the Karbanas, it's Malalav HaKosav, Kilo Yikriv Karban. Kol Shvuz going to listen. Here's the Mashiach. Ela Droish V'Kabel Sachar. All Torah. We learn Torah for learning Torah, whether it applies to us or not. Hachanami Droish V'Kabel Sachar. Even though we don't have Karbanas today, you learn it and you get Sachar. And he says, you're right. So I said, I actually asked that question. Why do you have to tell me this halacha? Lishna achrina amar lei halacha gamin. I'm telling you halacha. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day. I'll see you in New York. Be'ezer Hashem is Bada.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDAF.com.